Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alyssa and I'm back today because it's April, happy April. So it's time to go over my March income, expenses, share an update on my 2025 financial goals, and give a little net worth update at the end of the video, which, spoiler alert, you can probably guess which way my net worth went because I'm pretty sure we're all in the same boat if you are invested in the stock market at all. It's not looking good right now. But anyway, before I jump into it, I just want to give a huge thank you to everyone who watched and commented on my last video. I really appreciate you guys. I was able to reach my 1,000 subscriber goal and the requirement that I needed to be able to monetize my channel. So my videos are all monetized. That is super exciting. So thanks for making that happen and being nice. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making more videos. So let's just jump into this because this video is probably going to be long. So this is the income and expense report in YNAB, which is short for You Need a Budget. If you have never used this software and you'd like to try it out, I do have a referral link in my description box below that will give you a 34-day free trial, and you don't even need to input your credit card information. But if you do end up liking the software after that 34 days and you sign up and you use my link, then you get an additional 30 days for free and I get an additional 30 days for free. So I super appreciate anyone who uses my link to sign up, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So let's jump into my income for March. So my first source of income here is my cash back, which I had a couple sources. I cashed out on a few of my credit cards and I kind of cash them out every week or so. I don't just cash them out once a month because I'm really impatient and I want that money to get into my budget, because this year I am investing all extra income that comes to me outside of my paychecks. I'm investing all of that. So the sooner that I can get it into my bank account to be able to transfer into my investments, the better. So yeah, I cash out all the time. And then one of these I was able to cash out on my Upside app, which, another quick plug for a sec, if you're not using Upside for cash back, I also have a referral link for that below that gives you extra cash back on your first purchase, I believe. But you get cash back on things that you would be buying anyway, like gas, groceries, and certain restaurants. So yeah, highly recommend using that. I use it every time I fill up for gas, so I was able to cash out $19.92 there. So between my credit cards and Upside, I made $67.51 last month. I also made $82.66 from my high yield interest savings account. And then from my normal day job, I say day job like I work a night job. I don't work a night job, but my normal job that I work every day, I get paid weekly. And this is also my gross pay. I'm a 1099 contractor, so I pay taxes on this. And this is a little bit higher than it would normally be because last month was a 5 paycheck month for me, so a little bit higher there. I made $7,750 from my job. And then the next source of income, pet sitting. I just stopped in one day for one of my clients to check in on her cat, and I charged $15 because she was one of my first clients. So I give her a pretty good deal, in my opinion. I think $15 is a good deal for a half-hour check-in for a cat, but she also tips me very generously and she gave me $20 for my time. So super appreciate that. That is helpful. And then the last line item here, super exciting. I made $485 from selling stuff. This is selling a bunch of old furniture, well, mostly old. One of them was new, but selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace because when my boyfriend and I moved into this townhouse, I really wanted to make it a point to start getting rid of old things that aren't serving us, making us happy and proud to live here, or that we weren't using. I want to start investing in quality items that I want to take from place to place and hopefully have, a good portion of my life and not just quick cheap things just to get me by and then like throw away in a few years. I really don't want to be in that cycle. So I did sell some old things that we weren't using, like an old window AC unit. We have central AC, so I don't need that. I sold an old table and chairs that's just too big for any space that I've lived in. I've just kind of had it in storage, and there's just no point in me holding on to it anymore because it's not even something that I would want in a future place. It's not my style. It was just big and taking up space. So I was able to sell that. And then this fugly desk. This was actually a new desk that I had panic bought for this place. And I thought when we moved in, so this is like our office. This is connected to our living room. We have a really big living room in this place. And so I thought maybe it would be cool to do like a double desk in front of these two windows. And so we got this double desk that is also, you could make it a corner desk if you wanted, or a straight desk. And it was a really cool concept. I bought it online, but when it came, it just did not look like the pictures. It just was not as cute and cool. Like, it was honestly a really big eyesore, and it made me really unhappy to see it in our living room. So I did change my mind, and we just each got a couple of individual matching desks for the time being. And so I sold this desk that I did not like, and someone else thought it was beautiful and they were super excited to have it. So I'm glad that they could get a good deal on that. And then I also sold this old like fold up mattress that I had. It was like a spare bed basically that you could put on the floor, or you could use it for like camping and stuff. So I sold that because I don't need it anymore. And then I sold this old like office saddle chair. So yeah, all in all, I made $485 from selling stuff. And that gave me a total income last month of $8,405.17, which was a very strong month for me. And then we will go down to my expenses. So my biggest expense for the month was my investing. So I invest $500 from each of my paychecks automatically right off the bat. And then, like I said before, I am investing all extra income that I make this year outside of my job. So basically all of these sources of income that are not this paycheck, all of this gets put into my investing category. So I was able to transfer $3,567 into investments. And this number probably does not align perfectly with this extra income just because of how the months roll over, and the fact that I invest in Schwab and I transfer money into a brokerage account in Schwab, and then from there, once the money settles, it takes 4 business days for the money to settle before I can then invest it into like my solo 401k or my SEP IRA if I want to use that this year. So basically, like how the months roll over, I think one of these transfers was actually money that I had put into this category from February that got rolled over into March. So yeah, this number is not going to line up perfectly, but it will like throughout the year. And then my next category group is food and drink. So I'm actually pretty happy with how my boyfriend and I did last month. I budget $600 total towards all of these categories, and we actually made it under. So that's like a new record for us, and that tells me that we're on the right track with our grocery shopping and our dining out and everything. We're being more mindful and it's working. So pretty self-explanatory here. Bought alcohol, spent $204 dining out, groceries $215, and then meal kit boxes, we spent $101 there. And again, these are all expenses that I split with my boyfriend, although we don't necessarily like spend equal amounts throughout the month. We like shift. We don't like to send money back and forth, so we just kind of like check what each other's budgets have. So he may have had some money left over at the end of the month as well that'll just roll over into March. But yeah, so we each budget kind of similar amounts, but still different. And then we just share our pool of money together. And then the next category group, discretionary, spent $102 on gifts and good vibes. That was just birthday gifts for my mom and my brother. $54 on household. What is this? Bought some conditioner, some packing tape because I had to make a return, batteries, and some other toiletries. And then personal care, bought some hair oil for $28.21. Seeing and doing, this is our entertainment category. Oh yeah, so my boyfriend and I have been really liking going bowling during the week. There's a place near us that does dollar bowling on Wednesdays. So we've been really liking being able to get out of the house on Wednesdays. And yeah, so we've been bowling a lot, and I will probably want to invest in some, like a bowling ball and shoes if we're going to continue this, so that I don't have to pay the $5 rental fee every time for shoes. But yeah, so we spent, what was it, $52.53 on entertainment. Well, at least that's what I spent this month. And then my stuff and things category, I don't even want to go in here. Do not judge me, please, but this is mostly stuff that I was buying for the apartment, and last month was a battle trying to figure out the curtains for this area in particular. I was just really struggling with the color and what was looking good against the wall and with the rest of our decor and stuff. So I went through maybe like 8 different sets of curtains, and then I would buy them from Amazon and then return them. So yeah, if we look through all of these purchases, there are a lot of purchases and returns. So yeah, and then a couple other little bits and bobs. But yeah, overall spent $413.36, mostly on decor and some home organization things. And I bought a hat. And then Zeke is our dog. I only spent $21.90 on him last month. I bought him some treats and a bone. I'm sure we bought him food, but I guess my boyfriend paid for that. And then, so for a total of $672.32 is what I spent in my discretionary group. And then my home, this is just basically what it costs to live here and keep the lights on and keep the water running. So I actually spent a little bit less in rent last month because my apartment complex is very like disorganized and doesn't know like what our actual rent payment is or something. Like we get a 6-month credit for our Wi-Fi that we don't have to pay, but they keep accidentally charging it to us every month. And then we get a credit back, and then they credited us like too much back this month, but they didn't ask for it back or catch it or anything. So I guess I'm just gonna leave that. But yeah, normally my rent payment is $1,044, and that's my half, and then my boyfriend pays the other half. And then again with utilities, this was my half of electric and water. So all in all, I spent $1,122.24 there. And then in my essentials, pretty self-explanatory, got my gym membership, health insurance, my phone that I pay my mom for because I'm on a family plan, so this is my portion that I pay her. Services and fees, this was, I paid $1.10 to USPS to change my address with them and get mail forwarded. And then I paid my annual fee for one of my credit cards. And then my normal $32.73 in subscriptions. I just pay for Hulu, Discovery Plus, and then I pay $1 a month for my Acorns brokerage account. And then I went to a therapy session, so that cost me $165. So all in all, I spent $409.48 there. And then for my car expenses, I spent $51.61 in gas. And then the big one, I ended up spending $870.09 this month on car maintenance. I was expecting to get an oil change, But then at the end of the month, I just wanted to kick that into April and have it be an April expense. And I guess I forgot on Monday that it was still March. It was March 31st. And I called my mechanic and asked if they could do a 100,000 mile, what do you call it, service on my Nissan Altima, because I really want to stay on top of that. And she is getting very close to 100,000 miles. So I wanted to schedule that. And I thought that usually they tell me that they have availability later in the week. So when I made the call on March 31st, I was anticipating them to schedule me for later in the week. But then they told me, oh, we've got availability today. We can go ahead and do that for you. And then I got all flustered and I was like, okay. So I wanted to get it over with anyway. So I got some good work done that I feel good will keep my car lasting as long as possible. And my boyfriend and I also have a road trip to Pittsburgh coming up next month that we will be using my car for. So I feel really good about getting that maintenance done and feeling good and safe in that car. But yeah, so that ate into my car savings fund a little bit, which I will get into in the next section. But yeah, that was a big expense. I did have the money, but it was a little bit more than I was anticipating on spending last month. In fact, I wasn't anticipating spending any of this last month. I was supposed to do it this month in April, and then I messed up, but that's all right. All in all, I spent $868.70 on my car. And then administrative things, I received $9.35 in various statement credits because a couple of my credit cards offer statement credits. One of them just offers it as the cashback option, my Capital One card. And then my Chase cards do these offers where you can get a percentage back on certain purchases, so I can activate them for things that I was going to purchase anyway. So I received a $5 statement credit for signing up for one of my meal kit boxes. So all in all, my total expenses for the month were $7,205.56, which actually my net income was positive, which is good because this is actually over my normal amount that I make in a month. And then I had that huge car maintenance purchase there, but yeah, still made it out ahead with all of the extra income. So yeah, let's hop right on over to my 2025 financial goals. Okay, so here is my 2025 financial goal tracker. If you're interested in this spreadsheet, this was created by Personal Finance with Leila here on YouTube. You can buy this spreadsheet from her in her Etsy shop for $5. So definitely want to give her credit there. This is not my spreadsheet. I just took her spreadsheet and changed the colors a little bit, but I purchased this from her. So if you would like the spreadsheet, you can also purchase from her. And we will just jump right in. This first goal, I would like to earn $5,000 of extra income this year. So all of that income that I outlined in my previous section outside of my job, I made $655.17 from all of that extra income that I went over. So for the year, I am at 23.52% of this goal, which is slightly behind since we're a quarter of the year. Through the year, we should be at 25% here, but I'm not too worried about it. I still feel confident that I can reach this goal for sure, and we're not too far behind. And then my next goal is to make $90,000 of gross income. So this includes the income from my job as well as this extra income. So for March, I made $8,405.17 total, which puts me at 23.81% towards this goal. Again, a little bit behind. It should be over 25% at this point, but I'm so close. I'm feeling good that I can still hit this year. I'm on a good track for sure. And then my next goal is to have $10,000 in my car fund, which unfortunately went down in March because of that car maintenance that I did. So it cost over $800, but what I did in YNAB was just shift a few things around so that I could end that car fund on an even number at the end of the month. So that's why this is only negative $650, even though it was kind of an odd number that the car repair cost. And then it wasn't that much negative because I do contribute $150 to this fund on a monthly basis. So I will have to make up that $800 basically throughout the rest of the year. But again, I'm not too fussed about it because I do have 3 more months this year that are 5 paycheck months for me, where I will have extra income outside of my normal monthly budget to play around with, and I can put some of that extra money towards this fund throughout the year. So I ended this car fund at $7,850. And then my next goal is to invest $45,000. And last month was a pretty strong month for me. Again, I had a 5 paycheck month, so that was $2,500 right off the bat. Plus, like I said in the previous section, I think I had some rollover from February and then all the extra income. So I am 35% of this goal, which is very good because I only need to be at 25%. This $10,000 definitely really helped give me a boost, a head start. I think as the year goes on, this percentage will start slowing down and matching up with where we are throughout the year, but still hoping to stay ahead and stay on track with that goal for the year. And then the next goal was to have $200,000 invested, which probably jinxed all of us. And I'm sorry. I take the blame for crashing the stock market, but yeah, we were down. So my investment accounts all the way around went down by $2,504.69. So I am, a little behind on this goal, but that is okay. We still have all year for it to go back up and start making some gains again. But no, I'm not too worried about it. It was just like a fun goal to track, and I guess I jinxed us. I'm sorry. And then my next goal, unfortunately, was also affected by the stock market. It is to hit COASTFI at 67. So I would like to hit a number in my investment accounts at my current age that if I stopped contributing to them today and just let them build until I was 67, then I would be able to withdraw $60,000 a year. So in order to hit that goal, I need to have $171,000 invested currently. So unfortunately, this goal went down by the same amount that my investments went down. So my total invested is $146,000. And yeah, not too much to say about that. Like, it's just a fun goal to track, and I will hit this goal either this year or next year. Just, it really highly depends on the stock market, honestly. So just gonna keep tracking that and keep trucking. So let's hop on over to my net worth spreadsheet. Okay, so here is the spreadsheet where I track my net worth. So in March, for cash, this is literal cash, but also just what my bank accounts ended at, including my high yield interest saving accounts. I had $31,858.20. My solo 401k ended at $31,000, which was a little bit up because this is what I am focusing on investing on right now. I already maxed out my Roth IRA, so now I'm working on maxing out my employee contribution of my solo 401k. So this account just went up based on my contributions and not on market gains. The rest of my accounts, you will see, went down. So next one, my SEP IRA went down to $27,000. My Roth IRA went down to $51,000. My HSA went down to $9,600. And my 2 taxable brokerage accounts went down to $25,336, and my cryptocurrency went down to $17,000. So I ended March with a total of $193,000 of assets. And then for my liabilities, I always pay off my credit cards on a monthly basis. I pay off the statement balance. So this is just a running, like this is basically what was left on my statement that I need to pay when the next statement is due. But yeah, so it's not like debt. I mean, it's technically debt, but I do pay off the statement balance every single month. So at the end of March, I had a balance of $4,417.81 across all of my credit cards. And then my tax savings, since I'm a 1099 contractor, I just prefer to leave my savings for my quarterly tax payments out of my net worth, just to keep my net worth kind of even keel and not going down by like thousands of dollars once a quarter when I make that payment. That's just personal preference. So in March, I had $3,725 saved for a total liability amount of $8,142.81, which means my net worth ended at $185,000. 185? So, why can't I say this number? $185,771.27. So my net worth went down by $3,800 and about 2%, but again, not too concerned about it. I'm just looking forward to the day when, I'm still pumping my money into my investments, and I'm just excited for the day when I see that take off, the market goes back up, and hopefully my net worth just like skyrockets over that $200,000 mark with all of the gains. Just excited for that day, but in the meantime, I'm enjoying buying my stocks on sale. So anyway, thank you for sticking along and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you're not already, and I will catch you in the next Budget With Me video. All right, bye guys.